be flagging this with you that this fight is a disgrace and shouldn't be happening.
But I don't understand, you know, on what level? Like, there's no substance to what he's saying. You know, Conor Benn's last 2 fights have been at what, 154, 155? So, yes, he's moving up 2 divisions. He's moving up 1 division from the fights that he's boxed in lately. We understand. This is the first time anyone has mentioned Conor Benn coming up 2 divisions. So thank you that it's actually the opponent's dad.
Eddie Hearn tears into Eubank Sr. with blistering rage after he tries to drag the fight through the dirt by calling it a disgrace. But here's the twist. Hearn doesn't just brush it off, he dismantles Eubank Sr. He claims piece by piece. The reality is, there's no weight behind the criticism. Conor Benn's last 2 fights were already fought just shy of this division, so the narrative of him jumping 2 classes is pure fiction. What's more, the person fueling the noise isn't even stepping into the ring. It's the opponent's father trying to sabotage the spotlight. Meanwhile, Hearn sees this for what it is, an outdated voice clinging to relevance by stirring chaos. The burning question is, why create drama when the stakes are already sky high? For Hearn, this isn't just baseless noise, it's calculated sabotage from a bitter past trying to disrupt the future.
Yes, I do think it's dangerous for Conor Benn to move up 2 divisions and fight this guy. But what do you say when he beats him? What happens then? So, like, in my opinion, what's making this fight a 50-50 is the weight. You know, I think Conor Benn is the much better fighter. I think he's better prepared. I think he's much sharper. I think pound for pound he punches harder. But he's at a big disadvantage coming up to 160. And that's what makes the fight a 50-50.
Without a doubt, Eddie Hearn doesn't deny the danger Conor Benn faces by jumping up 2 full divisions, but that's precisely what makes this clash even more explosive. On the flip side, while many view it as a reckless gamble, Hearn sees it as a calculated risk that could redefine Benn's legacy. The truth is, he believes Benn is the sharper, stronger, and more complete fighter, despite the size disadvantage. Moreover, Hearn insists that the only reason this bout is seen as even remotely balanced is because of the weight difference, not because Eubank brings superior skills. What's more, Hearn is convinced Benn has the power and precision to break through that weight gap and dismantle Eubank. The burning question is no longer about danger, it's about whether Eubank can survive Benn's fury when the size advantage gets shattered. What are your predictions on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and like the video.
Same gym, and I only see one side, but I wasn't expecting him to be as strong as he was. And like, for someone so little, he does pack a punch. And I was quite shocked by that. I thought I could potentially just bully him because being 2-3, probably like three, maybe 4 weight classes above him, I just thought I'd be a bit too big. But yeah, he's very, very good. I'm quite lucky.
Meanwhile, Ramton Musa delivers a ruthless wake-up call to Eubank Jr. after sharing the ring with Conor Benn in sparring. Coming in heavier, Musa expected to dominate, but what happened flipped everything. Benn's power shattered assumptions. His punches weren't just fast, they were dangerous and precise. On the flip side, Musa was stunned by how fearless and explosive Benn truly was. That session didn't feel like sparring, it felt like war. The real issue is Musa now views Benn as a genuine threat, not just a smaller fighter moving up. What's more, he believes Eubank is walking into a disaster. The truth is, Benn isn't just ready, he's built to punish, and Musa knows it better than anyone.
You know, for all the promotion, for all the nonsense, for all the crap, you've got 2 fighters here. Might not be for a world title, but if you want to see a scrap, you're going to see one, because these 2 like to fight. Look at their careers. They are the fighters, they are the brawlers, they love it, and they only know one way. And that's what's going to happen on April 26th. They're going to meet in the ring, in the center of the ring, and they're going to go off. And that's why the casual fans are going to love this fight. Yes, the box.
Moreover, Ben Shalom isn't holding anything back. He's making it crystal clear that this isn't just another fight. It's a full-blown war. Forget about the glitzy titles and endless media distractions. What's truly on the line are 2 warriors who don't know how to back down. This is a clash between 2 fighters known for pure, unrelenting aggression, and when they meet on April 26th, all hell is going to break loose. There won't be any slow starts or cautious exchanges, just an all-out war from the moment the bell rings. The ring will ignite, energy will explode, and the crowd won't be able to look away. This isn't just a fight, it's a spectacle that'll shake the foundations of boxing. The real question is, who will crack under the pressure? No scorecards will decide this one.
Chris Eubank is the favourite for the good reason that he's been fought at the higher level and he is naturally the bigger man. But that man Ben has got some ire and got some danger in him, and he will be even more dangerous when that first bell sounds on April the 26th.
On the flip side, Aid Oladipo is adamant Chris Eubank Jr. is the favorite, and it's easy to see why. Eubanks fought at the top level, faced the best of the best, and he's the naturally bigger fighter. But let's not forget, Conor Benn is no pushover. Ben brings a brutal, explosive power that can turn this fight on its head at any second. When that bell rings on April 26th, Ben's aggression will be at an entirely new level. This isn't just about size or experience. Eubank's advantages, while clear, might not be enough to stop Ben from taking charge. The truth is, Eubank has been in wars, but Ben's youthful fire and unrelenting hunger could be the deciding factor. The real question, can Eubank survive the onslaught, or will Ben's fury outshine experience? This fight is about to explode, and anything can happen.
I felt sorry for Junior because he is a 34-year-old man at the time. He wants his own thing. His father is always going to be the centre of attention.
Yeah.
I think he's right to make his own decisions.
Simon, I see exactly what you're saying, because Nigel has stood back from Connor's career, and Chris Sr. was right in the front at the beginning. And I think it's great that Junior is walking his own path.
Collins has
They have
detonated
had
a
a horrendous
bombshell
tragedy.
of the boxing world with a brutal expose on the turmoil crippling Chris Eubank Jr. E's career. This fight isn't just about punches, it's a battle for freedom, identity, and self-determination. Collins doesn't hold back, tearing into the toxic father-son relationship that has stunted Eubank Jr. E's growth as a fighter. While Conor Benn has thrived, building his own legacy with Nigel Benn taking a backseat, Eubank Jr. has been suffocated by a father who refuses to let him step out of the shadow. But Collins doesn't stop there. He goes deeper, calling out the emotional weight burdening Eubank Jr., suggesting that these personal tragedies could be dragging him down more than anyone knows. The real question, can Eubank ever break free from his father's shadow, or will he remain trapped for good?
It's gonna be a very good fight. Conor has punching power chances. Chris is the bigger guy, so you give Chris the advantage going in because he's a bigger guy, but Conor does have exceptional punching power, so it's gonna be a great fight. I think Chris should win the fight. I think Chris should outbox him, outsmart him, but he will have to be smart early because Conor is a great puncher.
Calling this a high-stakes chess match that could spiral into complete chaos. While he gives Chris Eubank Jr. the advantage due to his size and skill, Roy doesn't sugarcoat the terrifying wildcard in play, Conor Benn's raw, explosive power. The truth is, Eubank may be the slicker technician, but if he falters early, Benn's power could end the fight in seconds. What's more, Roy doesn't believe Eubank can cruise through this unscathed. He warns that the early rounds will be brutal, and one mistake could be fatal. Moreover, Roy challenges the narrative that Eubank is untouchable. If Ben lands clean, everything could flip in a heartbeat. But here's where it gets brutal. Roy expects Eubank to win, but only if he stays sharp from the very first second. The moment of truth is coming, and if Eubank slips, Ben will detonate.
No, I'm not. No, I can't be inconsistent. I can't be dishonest and a hypocrite. I've said from the outset that I didn't like the fight. I felt it was a fight built upon other people's legacies. I understand what it's turned into. I understand the furore and the interest, and I understand the point that Eddie Hearn's making. If you ask Frank Warren what he thinks of it, he doesn't think much of it. People might say that's because he's not involved in it. But I would like to see Conor Benn fighting at 147 and winning a world title in that weight class. And I'd like Eubank, who I think is a brilliant showman and a great raconteur, fighting for a world title at 160 or 168. Not the situation, but each to their own. Where are you on it?
Well, where are you on it? It's going to be a massive...
On the other hand, Simon Jordan doesn't hold back, calling this so-called super fight a shallow money-making scheme built on famous surnames. He's adamant that this clash has nothing to do with merit and everything to do with exploiting hype. Jordan points out that Conor Benn has no business chasing headlines at catchweights. He should be focusing on the 147 division and pursuing a world title like a real contender. Meanwhile, Chris Eubank Jr., though a showman, belongs at 160 or 168, not dragged into these sideshow scraps aimed at pay-per-view clicks. This fight isn't about glory, it's about exploiting nostalgia. Even Frank Warren, no stranger to promotional tactics, sees through the illusion. The brutal truth is, while the event might be huge, it's built on nothing but flash. The real question is, do we want boxing like this, or should we demand something more genuine?
Junior's his own man, and that's what he's always tried to make out. This is me, this is my career, and this is how I do things. Dad, that was your era, that was your time, blah, 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 let me do this. But I'm sure he'd love to have him sat ringside watching him.
Meanwhile, Joe Gallagher didn't hold back when discussing Chris Eubank Jr., his quest for independence, questioning whether his desire to escape his father's shadow is truly genuine. Eubank Jr. insists he's determined to build his own legacy, refusing to follow in the footsteps of his iconic father. However, beneath the bravado, there's an uncomfortable truth. Eubank Jr. still craves validation and won't admit it. The reality is, his father's approval and support in his corner would mean everything to him. This awkward truth is often overlooked. The burning question remains, can Eubank Jr. genuinely rise to the top on his own terms, or will he always be haunted by the legacy he's desperate to escape? The pressure is mounting, and the drama surrounding Eubank Jr. is far from over. This fight isn't just about boxing, it's about Eubank Jr. facing his own identity crisis, and whether he can stand alone without the weight of his father.
Has Eubank got enough left in him to deal with someone who's going to be lots of energy, and is Ben, is he really what he is? He hasn't really boxed at the calibre of Eubank. So it's like, Ben's been calling me out for years. He's the best guy calling people out, not fighting them. I think he's called every person out on the face of the earth, never fucking fought him. And he's just waited out for this Eubank fight. Yeah. But it's fucking funny. It's actually clever.
Josh Kelly isn't holding back. He's casting doubt on whether Chris Eubank Jr. has enough left in the tank to withstand the relentless energy Conor Benn brings to the ring. However, Kelly isn't fully convinced about Ben either. The real issue is whether Ben is as good as he claims, considering he hasn't faced opponents on Eubank's level. Moreover, Kelly takes aim at Ben's history of calling out fighters without ever stepping into the ring with them. What's more, Kelly points out that Ben has spent years throwing out challenges, but rarely delivers on them. Even worse, he believes Ben is merely waiting for a massive payday, playing a long game while keeping the hype alive. The burning question is whether Ben's strategy is brilliant or just a house of cards. That raises the question, when the moment of truth arrives, will Ben back up his words, or will he find a way to dodge the real test?
He says he'll retire if Ben beats him. Can you see where that thought process comes from? Obviously Conor stepping up 2 weights, the amount of bad blood there's been.
Yeah, maybe then you just don't know. Maybe where does he go from there if Conor beats him? I'm not trying to say Conor's any less of it, but yeah, Chris is obviously the guy who should beat him because he's a lot heavier, maybe more seasoned, but you know, it's definitely a 50-50 fight in my eyes. I think Conor's going to beat him. So yeah, you can see where that thought process comes from, but you know, who knows? I know Chris likes to play poker a lot, so maybe comes back for the money or something.